Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Look at Brock the Rock and his little buddy.
What up, brother? Say good morning to
What's
everybody.
going on? How's the beach?
Beach is beautiful, beautiful day at the beach. Another sunny day, another day. Rebecca is gonna yell at me for getting in trouble with the sun and getting some sun. I had to tell her. She goes, "Are you wearing some sunscreen?" I said, "Yes, I am. I got SPF of 4 right now. I got a 4 going on."
Oh man, just skip right over 15 and just go straight to 4, right?
Just go lay on some tinfoil while you're at it. I mean, like, let's just bronze this goddess up.
Goodness. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Good to see everybody. Brock, I hope you have a most wonderful time with your kids and enjoy the beach. I know your heart, you got a heart for the beach and the ocean. And man, I just love it. I love seeing the pictures and all that good stuff. My name is Chad Free, and I am calling here or coming on here just outside of Greenville, South Carolina. And I'm in the wealth building business, but I believe there's a different spin on it. I believe true wealth is an abundance of anything and everything you value. True wealth is built from the inside out. Man, you can have all the money in the world and be empty inside and miserable. And what good is that? Right? That's just a bunch of hogwash. You don't want that. You don't want that. So I am called and led to share my story and my experiences of just how my life has turned around. And I've had a wealth revolution in my life. And I really feel called that this is a movement. I can't dictate if it's going to be that or not, but that's my calling. And I'm just taking one step at a time. And I'm excited along the way. And I tell you, I do and am experiencing that peace because I do feel like my alignment is where it's supposed to be. So my assignment is made pretty clear. So anyway, good to be on here. Before we get started, let's begin with our affirmations. All right. You know how we do this. Don't say it. Don't say it unless you mean it. Come on. I am created on purpose for
For
a
a
purpose.
purpose.
And you are created on purpose for a
For a
purpose.
purpose.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So today I want to talk about a certain particular sector of wealth that we often sleep on. And so understand this before we get started. I don't want this to be me talking to you or at you. Now, while I'm going to be the one talking mostly here, right? I want you to self-reflect as I'm talking and kind of picture yourself in like a discussion. But I think you'll get a lot out of this. I think it'll open your eyes if you truly do some introspection. So let's just call this a facilitated introspection. That's big words. I promise you, I didn't come up with that. I read that somewhere and I understood it. And I'm like, I'm going to use that one day. But that's what it is. I'm going to facilitate it and you're going to do some reflection inside. All right. And so I think it's important. I think it's something that's often overlooked. And at the surface, you may say, okay, well, that makes sense. But then as we dive a little deeper, I think you'll be more aware of this in your life. I want to talk about the power of relationship capital. Relationships. Okay. Most people are out there, grinding. Us entrepreneurs, we're grinding, we're hustling, we're chasing followers. And the truth is, I heard Coach Burt say this one time, you don't need more money, you need more people. You don't need more money, you need more people. The people have the money. And that's what I was talking about. On the surface, that sounds good, but let's really get into it a little bit deeper than that. When you have access to the right people, all right, the right relationships can open doors that hustle could never open. All right. When I'm talking relationships, I'm talking intentional relationships. I'm talking truly intentional, not selfish, intentional. So money can make some moves, but I really believe that relationships can create movements. I mean, it has in my life. And I've talked about this before, but John Hart is a key player, person, individual that I give so much credit for. And he don't want to take the credit. If you know him, he is as humble as can be. And he's got the best heart in the world. But those are the people you need in your life. The ones who are authentic, transparent, and real. And when you are that, and you're not faking it till you make it and trying to fit in, and you come just as you are, that's where these real relationships are made. So when I was, again, in a broken place, and I finally decided to, wow, I'm created on purpose for a purpose. That was a revelation for me. And I wanted to do things different moving forward. I was aware, so I became prepared, and I was very intentional on how I took my next steps. With my thoughts, with my actions, with everything, relationships. I was no longer just depending on knowledge and skills. I was depending on my spirit and my heart, my confidence that was feeding my desire in my heart. And that was to be who I was created to be. All right. So relationship capital is not, there's nothing wrong with this. This is where I want you to start thinking about it. It's not a networking event and passing out business cards. Now, surely that could be the start of it, right? But don't say that I'm a part of this group or that group, the BNI group, and there's nothing wrong with BNI. I'm just throwing it out there. Sorry, I shouldn't have spit that out. That was the first thing that came in my mind. All of that, and not a lot of great relationships comes from that, but a lot of times people just do it to say I did it, because that's a part of the checklist in order to be successful. See, they're using the knowledge and the skill. Here is what you do to be successful. Pass out this many, business cards, bring one person in, this, and this. Don't live your life like that and check the box and consider that relationship building. All right. So I'm talking about purpose-aligned relationships, people who see your vision, people who speak your name in rooms that you're not even in. Now, not all of you know this person, but some of you may. Sandy. Sandy used to be on here, one of our speakers. I texted Sandy yesterday. She is that person. She is an example of that person that I feel like I have relationship capital with. I could call her, text her out of the blue, and she would be open and willing. Chad, what you need? Chad, it's great to hear from you. It's an intentional relationship. And it doesn't require maintenance. And when I say maintenance, yes, relationships, when I'm talking about my wife, right? Or marriage, you can't just go along and not talk to them. A relationship is when you talk to them, but Kevin, I see you smiling. I don't know where to go from here, man. I kind of went off on the exit and I'm trying to get back on the highway here. It's not like Okay, I told you once I loved you. If I change my mind, I'll let you know. Right? It ain't like that. All right. But good, intentional relationships, you're being intentional in giving, giving, giving. How can I serve this relationship? This is where I want you to ask yourself, are you constantly trying to find value that you can bring to the table for a relationship? You can't expect anything out of a relationship if you haven't deposited anything in it first. Being intentional. And people can smell fakeness a mile away. Come on, somebody say amen up in the chat. I mean, it's real. People have discernment. Sometimes it's so loud and you ain't even got to say nothing. Or that person doesn't have to say anything. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They want to take, and then also they want to critique you. They want to take your stuff. They want to take what you got. They want to take, and then they're going to critique you. They might talk about you. You got to be aware so you can be prepared. All right. So you can't withdraw anything that you hadn't deposited. You got to pour in to those relationships. How can I honor this relationship? How can I serve this relationship? How can I help you? And I'm going to say this. I'm just going to call it out. Brock does a great job of that. Now, here's what I don't do a good job at. I'm admitting my weaknesses. Sometimes it's not reciprocated. Sometimes it's not reciprocated. All right. And you can't expect it to be reciprocated. All you can do is deposit, deposit, deposit. I know that I could call Brock at any time. Yeah, man. Hey, what can we do together? This, and this. And just because they're not going to automatically give back to you, they may be busy, they may be this, they may be that, but you have a foundation with that relationship that can pull you out of struggles that you never expected yourself to get in. But those are the relationships that you got to have. The right relationships at the right time can shortcut years of struggle. By meeting John, he opened up the door to introduce me to Coach Burt. And then I started receiving so much good coaching from him. I didn't see my picture when I was stuck inside the frame. Y'all, I got a lot of sayings from Coach Burt. Right? I do. But these are things that I tell myself, and I'm more aware so I can be prepared. And then that opened up a whole new pool of people that I have developed relationships with. That's where Brock and I met each other. And then you've got Coach Burt, Tim Story. That's how Michelle and Becca Black, we all have, it's just one off. It's 1 degree away. So how are you treating your relationships? Relationships matter. They matter. Are you trying to withdraw things that you've never deposited? And let me tell you something. Don't think you don't have anything to offer. Because you remember the affirmation we started with? Even though you may not think, even though you might not know, if you're just being real and you're being authentic and transparent, you shouldn't expect anything. Just your intentionality is rare. these days, and you are one of one. And it very well may be that that person doesn't have a you in their circle. I'm going to sing somebody else's praises. Rosario, the absolute sweetest lady ever. She is so, she just, I can't put it into words. She's just your biggest cheerleader. She wants to see you win. She don't have to ask anything of me, but I would give anything to her because of her nonverbal, just her aura, everything that she has. She comes with a pure posture of good intentions. Are you being that to somebody? Are you being that to somebody? We get poured into a lot, poured into. Who are we pouring into? But it only happens, again, when you're intentional. You got to invest in people. You have to sometimes, I mean, even me, let's just be honest. I have to make sure I come with a pure posture because we're human, right? Oh man, it'd be awesome to hook up with them, dude. They could connect the dots. Can you see that going on, man? We good. Is that really? Is that pure? Or is there somewhat of a Chad motive? Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. But just question it. You need to show up real and authentic. And that's how true relationship capital can be capitalized on. You have to understand that sometimes what you're building requires other people. Now, being in the financial services business, I was a solopreneur. Okay. And I said, okay, I can write this policy, I can do this, and I'm getting all the commissions because there was no other way. Right? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then when my mind was expanded to truly start thinking about what is the pain point of people, that the problems that they are trying to solve, and how could I be of service to them? Because my intentions, I really want to be that person. And then I realized, okay, I can own a hospital and not have to be the heart surgeon, and I'm okay with that. So I can bring in the heart surgeon who is narrow and deep in that niche that can help that person or a part of that problem that we could bring the full value to. Do you have to split commissions? Certainly. But guess what? You're solving a bigger problem. The commissions can be bigger. I work with a team. Those of you in the real estate business, if you haven't partnered up or spoke to Rosario, she could help a buyer that may not be quite qualified. I tell you somebody else that's intentional. And if I don't call your name, that don't mean that I'm saying you're not intentional. Okay. But I'm just, when I see people, Chris Reshitar, he's very intentional. He's very intentional with his business. He's very intentional with his relationships. I can see that he is not faking it. There is no fake to that. Again, all of you're special. All right. Understand that. Understand that. Christian, I love you, man. I love you. So don't think I ain't showing love. All right. I love all of you on here. So here's the deal. Be intentional with your relationships. That's the bottom line. Because money can move, but relationships can create movements. And relationship capital can help you build a legacy. So, guys, that's really what I got today. I hope that you went along and did some introspection and just think about your circle. Think about the people that maybe you do want a relationship with, but maybe you haven't deposited and been as intentional on your end that you could be. Relationships are huge. Relationships are more important than just about anything in life and in business. So, guys, that's what I got. Anybody want to come off and have a discussion with me, talk about this? How'd it hit you? Anybody want to come off and say, Chad, thanks for not mentioning my name. I love you too. Say it. Come on.
Chad, that was too funny. I think my favorite part about today was that relationships create movement, especially when you show up like in that authenticity and that transparency, and you're truly there to help each other. And so it's like it's like a symbiosis, like you're helping them, they're helping you. And so I really like how you say to be intentional in that. And so do you have like one, like, do you have like a tracker? Do you just have like a mental thing where you're like, hey, let me make sure that I do this one thing with relationships so that I am showing up intentionally and being my most authentic self?
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot and asking for example. But I will tell you this. My wife taught me something, tells me something, and has ingrained in myself and my boys. All right. I don't have a tracker. I don't have anything like that. But if somebody pops in my mind, look, y'all, look, I already know. Well, Chad, you don't ever think about me. All right, I'm just kidding. All right, here's the deal. If somebody gets on my mind, I'm going to reach out to them because there's a reason for that. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just reaching out to tell them that I'm thinking about you. I hope you're having a great day. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Jada too. Matter of fact, Jada was on my mind earlier today because I almost said, "Good morning, good morning, good morning." You already know who it is. Jada sends me text almost every morning, just an encouraging text. He's not asking anything back. He's not wanting anything back. Let's go kill the day, bro. Best wishes, blessings to you and your family. I hope you have a wonderful day. That's huge. So to answer your question, I don't have that, but if somebody pops on my mind, I guess that's my way of wanting to reach out to somebody and talk to them, let them know that I'm thinking about them.
Yeah, no,
And
I love that.
Another thing is, when I'm with somebody, I think intentionality is truly being present. They are a human being. They have struggles just like we do. They have wants, they have desires. Listen to them. They're the only person. It ain't a brag show. You know what I mean? Like, well, guess what I did this week, man? I did this. Listen to them. I think that's intentionality.
Yeah.
Listening to understand instead of listening to respond. And y'all know who I'm talking about too. Don't let me get on that because you start saying something about something and they got just a little bit bigger, a little bit better. They have And then you say, well, what about this time? Oh yeah, I had one of them experiences too, but it's always a little bit bigger and a little bit better. Don't be that person, that guy or gal. Just be there. Listen. Brock.
Yeah, I wanted to. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's a little windy over here. There's three things I liked about your message today. One is it really resonated that money moves, but relationships create movement. If you didn't write that note down, that's probably the biggest takeaway that you said a lot of amazing things, but that one in itself is really truly like hit me in the head of that it doesn't matter how much money you have. I know a lot of rich people who are sad inside, who are broken inside. Money does not buy you happiness. I always say money buys you choices, gets you choices. You have more choices if you have more money, but it doesn't build it. You can't go and buy happiness at Amazon. The other thing that you spoke about that really resonated with me is I've never been to a bank that I was able to walk through the bank and say, I'd like to get $500, please. And them say, well, do you have an account here? I don't. I just want to get $500 though. Like, well, do you have the $500 here? Do you want to deposit the money first before you can take it? Nope. I just want to come in here and I want to take the $500. And that's how many people are in relationships is they have no investment. They do not build anything with the other person, yet we want to continue to take. And my third point, or my third thing, was being authentic of our true self because artificial intelligence has taken the place of being the fake person. There's the twinning. That's not really you. That's a computer. People are not interested in talking to a computer. They're not interested in talking to the fake artificial intelligence. They want your true authentic self. And so when you were sharing that, those three things really resonated with me on your message today. And I just want to like really that the relationship creates movement is something that I'll probably even do some journaling on because it really resonated with me. So thank you so much for your message today, brother. And I always appreciate you because you do reach out to me, and I'm very blessed for our friendship and our brotherhood. So thank you, man.
100%. So I want to end with this. I think this comment, John Root just posted in the chat. I want you to think about somebody that you may or may not know. They could be lonely. You may know that they're lonely. Sometimes just listening is all that someone needs and craves. What if that was your child? What if that was a parent? What if that was someone that you loved, but you were not in a position or in proximity to be that person for somebody? Sometimes just listening is all that someone needs and craves. John Root, that's huge, man. And I think that right there that makes you do some introspection right there. So I think that's the perfect thing to sign off on. I appreciate all of you. I thank all of you for being a part of my life. And, my line is always open. Anything that I can be, whatever I can be, however I can be, that's who I want to be. All right. So I appreciate it. You guys have a good one. Be here tomorrow. Is it Miss Rebecca Black tomorrow?
Rebecca Black coming in strong.
Wisdom. And there's some serious wisdom that comes on Wednesdays. All right. 8:15 right here. See you tomorrow. Have a great day. Gone.